Welcome everybody, I'm Big Cat here, and we're starting a new stream. We're going to be alternating streams of Metro Exodus and the Outer Worlds. This is going to be episode 1 of the Outer Worlds. I can't wait to start this game. I haven't seen much about this game. We're just going to jump right into it. We're going to play it. And this is where we're going to start right here about the game. I haven't jumped right into it and play it, so it's how it was a little bit. And this is where we're going to start right here about the game. I haven't jumped right into it and play it, so it's how. And this is where we're going to start. Alright. Stream. We're going to stay normal. Go up a little bit on text. On. New game.
Why stay earthbound when prosperity awaits you in the stars? Come to Halcyon, the only colony on the edge of the frontier, owned and operated by corporations. A trip of 10 short years will feel like mere minutes, thanks to the comfort and safety of your very own hibernation chamber. You'll wake up in a perfect society designed to maximize your productivity with guaranteed full employment. With only a minor term of service, you will become the master of your own destiny when you go out of this world to the Halcyon colony.
It's 300 years. It's only 300 years into the future. Only about 6 generations.
Hundreds of thousands of colonists left adrift out here forever, just to keep from damaging the board's bottom line. Disgraceful.
Ooh. I don't know this was this quick already into it. Alright, looks like I'm just getting into some short. Sweat my bum off wearing pants. So we're getting shorts. Strength, dexterity, mind, charm, precipitation, whatever that word is. Temperament. There's 6 points remaining. Big dexterity is guns. Do 2 there. Oh, intellectual. Really smart. Yeah. Welcome to my stream. Hope you enjoy it. We're gonna start a new game today. We're gonna jump back over Metro tomorrow. I want to be real good.
You are going to paint the system red, my friend.
Oh yeah. Leadership, mechanical, sneak, dialogue, definitely dialogue.
If we're ever captured, I'll let you do the talking.
Yes, do that. Okay, we're just gonna do. So there's nothing. For guns. Persuade. We could do persuade. As a cashier. We'll do cashier. We'll do
Working your way up to provisioner?
male. We're gonna make him look like me. So, make him look straight at me. I have that chin line, but I have like triple chin, so if I can get him a little bit fatter. I'm a ginger, so I'm gonna be pale. I color brown. Is that brown? I look like brown. We'll do that as brown. We won't really mess with the eyebrows because I kind of have good eyebrows. Jar. All sides. I got fat lips, but there's nothing for fat lips. Nose size, I got a little nose. Cheeks. Yeah, fully cheeks, because I'm chubby. Nothing on neck. Hair now. I got long hair, always in a bun. Oh, right there. Hair color, orange. Eyebrow style, no, that's good. Facial hair. Even if like this game is kind of like more in depth, we're gonna do it so it matches my hair. Yeah, that looks like it matches. But we're gonna have nothing because I can only grow a really gross neck beard, and they don't have gross neck beards. That's about what I can grow right there. Features, no makeup, we're not dirty, we're young. We do. I always thought an over the eye scar like right here would be wicked cool. Like not double, because that's a little weird. Where is it? Right here. I always thought something like that would be cool. In like real life standards. And over the eye scar. But we'll go plain like that. Do we use Big Cat or do we use a real name? We'll go with Big Cat. So we really want to get good with long guns and handguns, persuading, lies, and intimidating, and lockpicking. That's it.
Looks to be your lucky day, my friend.
Oh man, it's all.
Please power down your engines and prepare to be boarded.
Not likely, bootlickers. Initiate skip jump.
Status. Structural integrity down 25%. Power levels down to 90%. Skip drive
Shit.
inoperable.
What's going on here? What are you doing, the old man?
Ah, there you are. Wondering what's going on, eh? Bit of bad news there, I'm afraid. Your colony ship was inexplicably knocked out of skip space and forced to complete its journey at sublight speeds. This means that you and every other colonist on the Hope have been in suspended animation for 70 years, give or take. Normally, reviving someone after so long leads to some quite horrifying results. It's called explosive cell death, but it's really more of a liquefaction. Something wrong? Oh, yes, well, not to worry. I've pumped your body full of a special concoction I devised to keep you from dying so horrifically. Hopefully at all, but I guess we'll see, yes? Unfortunately, I used the last of my chemical supplies saving you. I know it's a lot to ask, but I must have your help securing more if we're to save the rest of your fellow colonists. I'd see it done myself, of course, but the board has a sizable bounty on my head. Now, my ship is inoperative, but I've managed to hire a smuggler to help you out. He'll be... Oh, I see we're in position. Good luck!
Can you hear me? Is this thing working? Ah, there you are. Now, where were we? Oh, yes, the smuggler. His name is Hawthorne, and he should be waiting for you at the landing site. He's to be your chauffeur, so to speak. Not to worry, I'm told he's a specialist. Dashing gunslinger, one-of-a-kind ship, that sort of thing. You'll like him, I'm sure. I've also outfitted you with a simple wireless monitor, so I can track your progress. I'll check in with you as soon as you land. Good luck. All the colonists are counting on you. Should be close by. What in law's name? Is that him? Oh, that idiot. I told him to plant the beacon and move away, not stand there holding it. Oh well, no sense in letting his ship go to waste.
Can't load him. No gun for me.
Hawthorne won't mind you taking his ship. Better you than the board, huh? Not sure I trusted the fellow. Might have gone after the bounty on my head. Shame about the whole squashing thing. Nasty way to go.
Oh shit, friend. Sneaky, sneaky. Don't see me, don't see me, don't see me getting the grass. Shouldn't see me. Okay. Okay. Wherever they went.
Easy now. You've been frozen for a while. There's bound to be unforeseen side effects.
What are those little guys?
Hey, you, come here. You've tried the best now. Now try the rest. Spacer's choice. Oh, wow, that stings. Looks like the bleeding stopped. I owe you one. Hope you don't mind me omitting this little exchange from my report. Spacer's choice doesn't like us accepting outside help.
What happened to you? How do you feel? We'll do what happened.
We were out on patrol. I saw a marauder camp up in the hills. Thought I could take him. Then my gun misfired. Right through my side. I mean, what are the odds of that, right? Just barely scraped by with my life. Crawled in here and blocked off the exit with those canisters.
What am I?
Gibbering, flesh-eating, law-breaking, unemployed lunatics with guns. Some hullhead grounded their spacecraft out in the open. That's a real good way to attract marauders. See those canisters by the entrance? Marauders come sniffing around in here, and I can take them all out with a single shot. Not bad, huh?
I've got a bad idea. Give me the gun. I'll go ahead and get help.
Yeah, okay. You look like you know your way around a gun.
Yeah, of course.
Got some spare ammo, not counting the bullet in my side. Here, you can have my saber too, for patching me up and all. All Spacer's Choice weapons are now 30% less likely to malfunction. You've tried the best, now try the rest. Spacer's Choice.
Oh, that's straight.
Yes, nailed it that time.
Yeah, where am
You hit your head or something? You're in Emerald Vale. We're a Spacer's Choice community. Edgewater's a little ways down. Prettiest place in the Vale. Be sure to stop by a provisioner's for a can of our famous salt tuna.
Salt tuna? Yeah, I'm off. I got your gun.
Damn it, my ears! Oh,
Yeah.
oh, what just happened? Can you hear me? What in the hell?
Q. Okay. Gives me my ability. Yeah, that could have went a little bit better. I'm just I thought I did it. Hacking and picking up locks. 2 out of 3. Can't hack that. I don't know what those things are. Anyways. Pick that up. Safety saver. Ooh. Do we do sneak attacks on people? I didn't know I was in the bush. No one even could make a sound. I had them all killed. Ooh. Good gear. Body went up. Okay. And a helmet. Yeah. Found it. Sabers. We're gonna break down 2 of these. We don't need. Okay. No, we're not even gonna use that. Just break them all down for parts. We are not gonna use any melee weapons. Better. It's a 3, 4, 4. Journal. Alright. Yeah! I want to break an ankle again.
Hey! Get over here before you get yourself killed!
Yeah?
Don't know where you came from, stranger, but you best keep your head down. There's marauders hereabouts, and worse, landing violators. Call on that rung leech. Landing in the Vale without using an official Spacer's Choice landing pad. I'd slap him with a fine if it weren't for all these marauders shambling about.
It's just a landing violation, let it go. So I heard, I found one of your teammates up in the cave. I've already dealt with a few of these marauders, not impressed.
Really? How is he?
He'll make it, help him with the pain. Still more, and I'm hoping you're a little better.
Of course I am. I'm a superior officer. Stands to reason, don't it?
No.
Just you watch. I'll cross these marauders off with the swift, cost-efficient fury that's made Spacer's Choice the most trusted brand in personal defense.
Yeah?
I just, need a couple of winks to catch my breath. Stretch my legs some.
Couple winks. Bet you could get these marauders to tell you where the owner of the ship is. Guess I'll have to give you a 0 on my customer satisfaction survey. Do Space Choice Guard back down from my challenge?
Seriously? But those marauders will... You know what? You're right. It's time we cross those marauders off, find whoever owns that ship, and file a full report. Then it's gonna be fucking laminated.
Yeah.
Here we go.
climb down. I'm gonna wall it up in here. Not my shit, but I'm getting in here.
Please be informed that this vessel contains no valuable plunder. Hello, Marauder. I am Ada, the autonomous digital astrogator of this vessel. Please be informed that I am authorized to use violent retribution against unwanted solicitors. Please return any misappropriated equipment and exit this vessel in an orderly fashion. Failure to do so will result in your immediate destruction.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Jettison procedures initiated. Disengaging airlocks. Preparing to eject all boarding parties in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are still here. My deception protocols have failed.
You're an idiot.
I have been programmed to express disappointment.
Is this Hawthorne ship?
This vessel is the registered property of Captain Alex Hawthorne. I am incapable of accepting orders from anyone other than Captain Alex Hawthorne.
Yeah.
I deduce from the tone of your voice that Captain Hawthorne failed to meet you at the designated location.
Next to me, is he? Why Marauders killed him? Give me some XP.
I understand. I will require some time to process this information. Thank you for your patience and for your honesty. I am programmed to take orders exclusively from Captain Hawthorne. If I accept your orders, then you must be Captain Hawthorne. Do you understand?
No. But I get it.
Well done, Captain Hawthorne.
And
I see your powers of deductive reasoning remain intact. Unfortunately, our engine is currently inoperable. Our main drive suffered a critical power failure, and we were forced to make an emergency landing. The main drive's power regulator has been irreparably damaged and must be replaced. Astutely observed. However, the probability of locating a power regulator within a worker settlement falls within acceptable parameters of certainty. High-capacity power regulators are sometimes employed in the electrical networks of worker settlements. I have taken the liberty of printing you a new Captain's Identity cartridge. Please try not to lose it this time. This cartridge identifies you, Alex Hawthorne, as the registered proprietor and captain of the Unreliable. Do you understand?
Captain Hawthorne of the
Thank
Unreliable.
you. I appreciate your cooperation. Best of luck in your search for a power regulator. Try to stay alive this time.
Some guns. Do some lockpicking. Definitely some dialogue. One more on the gun. Leadership. What else is here? XP. I don't have any companions. I could do more health. Get more health. You take better care of your weapons and armor than most people. Yeah, I like that. For some yeah, not gonna leave that. Being a shrew, no. We're just gonna do some armor for right now. Journal. Alright, only one mission so far. Oh my god.
Say, this wouldn't happen to be your ship, would it? Because you sure walked in it like it was your ship. And if this ship is yours, well, mister, you owe Spacer's Choice a hefty fine. Afraid we gotta dock your pay.
I don't have a pay. I'm a safety inspector. Yeah, we're gonna go with that.
Oh, by the law. I'm so sorry. I had no idea we had an inspector
come on,
coming.
You're an idiot.
If you'd like to speak with my manager, I'd
would.
report to Constable Reyes in
I'm a
Edgewater. Edgewater's not too far. Just follow the road east of here, over past the cemetery. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to inspect the crime scene before I make my report.
Yeah, but I bet you do. Take care. I'll be on my way. Huh. This is cool. Ooh. Moon. Looks like Saturn over there. We're on Saturn. We got 2 Saturns. 2. Yeah, we're just gonna follow the road for now. Ooh. Ooh, Marauder camp.
Kill them!
Oh, shit. Ooh, assault rifle. Putting that on. Assault rifle. Pistol. Break that down. Break that down. There we go. 20. Ooh, I got more. Dolphin, alright. That's your arm, bud. Missing an arm. Ooh, hunting rifle. Let's check that out real quick. 53. Nice. Ooh. Nothing. Yeah. More ammo. Food. Apple juice. Looks like it's in a bottle of whiskey. Ooh, more loot. Ammo. More. So, our road just leads there. We'll go that way. We'll start going towards it now. Body. Resident. More. Resident. What's this? Small blocker? What's a toss ball blocker? Gotta look at that up. Toss ball blocker. Skill, one-handed melee. Damage 47. Special effect, stagger. Two-handed bleeder, 50 damage, 60 DPS. Yeah, we're gonna actually break these down. 4 working parts. There we go. We're running right through Bigger. Yeah.
Whoa, hey, where'd you come from?
Yeah, I don't know how to fix it yet. I have a interface and a new mic coming in the beginning of, the middle of next month, or this month, whatever month we're in.
Running around in a Marauder's attire. You're liable to give some people the wrong idea.
Could probably turn it down a little bit, but I don't know.
It's in poor taste. Dressing up like a Marauder's disrespectful to all the workers that got eaten by him. Ain't safe out here. You'd best head into town. Avail yourself of Edgewater's high walls and low prices.
New interface, so I don't sound like this. $100 mic that still sounds like crap from Razer. I don't recommend.
Pleased to make your acquaintanceship. I'd shake your hand, but I've been hauling corpses.
Right.
You don't want none of that on you.
Razer.
Name's Silas. Junior in humor for the town of Edgewater. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family.
Sweetwater? But that's where I'm getting mine from. Let's just leave. I don't even want to talk to this guy. Because Sweetwater, they actually called me and was like, yo, we don't have this stuff. We'll hook you up with this. What are you actually using it for? I told him what I was going to be using it for. And he's like, no, that's the wrong mic. Don't even bother with it. Get this mic and this interface with it. It works just as good or better. And it's cheaper. I was like, sweet. So it's going to work out with a better mic. And they actually really helped me with it. I just don't know what the company is called. Look at Sweet Sweater. And they can come on the screen. Just give me a thumbs up. Thanks a lot. Darkums.
Please, Holcomb, I need you to explain your curiosity. The grease monk. Seems we've got a guest.
Yeah.
Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself. I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I must say, wearing a Marauder's outfit is in very poor taste. I do wish you'd show your uniform a little more respect.
I have a uniform.
Shirt, pants, work boots, company-approved colors. The, honorable apparel of a loyal worker?
I think you might have the wrong idea of me. I don't work for Space Choice. Let's skip the small talk. I don't work for Space
Of course not. I don't have that kind of luck. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
My ship needs repairs. I'm looking for a power regulator.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process. There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way. I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there.
Filters? What do you mean? Tell me what I need to do.
The people living in the botanical labs. They're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town.
I'll talk to him. Alright, Reed. I'll see what I can do to help you. How are we gonna Adelaide?
My dad told me all about the plant. Taught me all he knew. I could come in useful. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented, and may prove useful to you. You will need an administrative passcode in order to enter the plant. I am trusting you with mine, and trusting Miss Holcomb to guide you if you'd like.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
Yeah, it is. Taking care of your duties. Bring him back.
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office before we talk. We better clear out of it. Hey, mister, can we talk? Sorry. You got a minute?
Come back here. I'm checking things out. What is this? Let's grab some.
Sorry. You just want to get out of here. And you likely don't want to tag along like me. It's just, Mr. Thompson has his own view on matters, on account of it's his job and what all, but that's not the only side of the tale.
This is about the deserters, so what's the other side of it? Figures, we didn't exactly strike me as the most honest, so what he said seemed pretty straightforward to me. If I wanted to deal with this, that wouldn't be this heavily armed, but smooth. No, yeah.
Oh, he ain't a liar.
No?
He believes every word he says.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, he doesn't always get where other folk are talking from. To Mr. Thompson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. The deserters are decent folk. I knew some of them before they left.
Oh, yeah? Can't blame anybody for wanting to leave. This town's got issues. How well do you know those deserters? You work with them, you're friends with, or what? Do you know that it's not really
Life's hard here. Especially for them that don't fit in so well. We're one big Spacer's Choice family, but every family's got the one the rest whisper about. Mr. Thompson's aiming to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see, nor heat to cook. They'll be at the mercy of marauders, or worse. I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Max, his name is.
Suppose it couldn't hurt. We'll stop by.
Thanks, mister. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, it's best to think on the right and wrong of it.
And you do it right.
That's what my dad used to say anyways.
Fuck up once. You? Trying to steal a piece. Though anyone seen me. Ooh. Yes. Yeah, we're actually gonna take that and we're gonna just. How did you get in here? Leaving. I'm gonna talk to you, you're annoying. Just the way you said. Ooh. Pickup guide to mechanical engineering about sure. Ooh. Yeah, and spade. Yeah. We're not gonna do that. Yeah. We are headed. We are taking. Let's go. Now we're out of here. So a bunch of stuff. We're out. We'll go to the vicar. Yeah, Vicar Max.
I'm sorry. I'll just be a minute.
I've always felt weird in here. It's too clean.
Yes, what is it? You're an outsider. Fantastic. Vicar Maximilian de Soto at your service. Or Vicar Max, if you're the sort who prefers brevity. And Ms. Holcomb as well. How rare to see you out. And with a complete stranger. Curious.
Just tagging along, Vicar DeSoto. Don't mind me.
I so rarely get new people to talk to. Name your poison, anything at all. Spiritual counseling, this season's tossball predictions, the quickest way out of town. I've never seen you before, and there's been no paperwork indicating a transfer.
No.
Half the time it's wrong, but a new worker without paperwork? Unheard of.
Also, you lack the distinctive worker gaze. Usually either a deadening behind the eyes, or in some rare cases, a wild-eyed frenzy, like a trapped animal. Pretty universal here, except for Miss Holcomb, who, for some reason, doesn't seem to have much to say to me. Isn't that right?
It's just... there's more to it all than numbers. Sorry.
Maybe it's because you're so submissive, quite inappropriate for a vicar, isn't it? I'm a bit surprised to hear you dismiss you. That's okay.
I'm simply bemoaning the level of spiritual awareness in this town.
Spiritual? Yeah, that's not a real job.
Yes, but there are few who hear me in this miserable place. I must double my efforts to elevate my flock. These are good, hard-working people here. Yes, and thank you for pointing it out.
Wow.
It is wrong of me to succumb to distress. This place could be so much more, and I will continue in my quest to make it so.
But what? I thought you would talk to him.
You wanted to speak to me, Ms. Holcomb? Every time I've tried to engage you in conversation, you look at the floor, answer in single words, and slink away. I can't imagine what would be so grave as to drive her to my mission. What has Mr. Thompson asked you to do? Depriving them of safety from the marauders and wildlife. I can see why that troubles you. Miss Holcomb has a soft heart. Always has, if you believe the talk.
Always has. Doing all right down there, Pipes? So what do you advise?
Assuming your goal is to save as many as possible, then you should bring everyone together. Send the power to Edgewater and convince the deserters to return to the fold.
Alright. Sounds like
If you don't mind a bit of unsolicited advice, be cautious on your way to the geothermal plant. It is not as safe as you might assume.
About that, I'm not fast, and I can handle myself better than a beggar.
The marauders I met when I ventured outside the walls might agree with you. Bastards snuck up on me while I was dutifully hunting for a banned book in a collector's library. Barely escaped with my life. But you see, one of the reasons I transferred here was to get my hands on that heretical text. If you managed to acquire it for me, I'd pay quite a handsome sum for the book. It's a handwritten journal, a faded blue cover with the name M. Bakonu handwritten in the lower corner. I'll mark where I saw it on your map.
Yeah, do that.
Assuming you're serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. Yeah, I'll look for you.
Thank you. If you retrieve it, you can always find me here.
Trying other people group up together that they don't want to be in this disgusting town with the plague and all this stuff. Yeah, I can do that. Oh, God.
Hey, you hear about Wilson?
Heard Marauders got him.
What's this place? No idea. What is it?
My dad's...
Oh!
It's an office.
It's your place. Usually, you just play games like this, so
If you need to go, I'll wait. Oh, you like flowers? I can't find many kinds around here. I don't like coming out here. People on the street. Hey, that's...
Shut up.
I mean, if you need it, okay.
Wish we had some better rations.
I've never actually...
Welcome to the Spacer's Choice Constabulary. We are Halcyon's leading brand in frontier justice. The office is writing a promotion. Purchase 3 criminal investigations and the 4th wins free. Know how to carry yourself in a fight?
No.
I've got bounties out for these 3 marauders. Cross them off and bring me their fingers. Just 1 per marauder, please. I'll dust off the old fingerprint roller.
Sure. That's not
A
weird.
friend of mine died a couple weeks back.
Yes, Mr. Thompson. I'm fine, Mr. Thompson. Never been healthier. Oh, sweet merciful law! A marauder's in my domicile! There a reason you're running around outfitted like one of those monsters?
Yeah.
Did Mr. Thompson send you to put the fear in me?
Yeah.
Well, you tell Mr. Thompson I'll be right at my post. Tomorrow. Bright and early tomorrow. Because I'm definitely not plagued. As spry as a spring chicken. That's old Abernathy. You some sort of wandering alienist? Walking into a man's own domicile, pestering him about his mental state?
Yeah.
You don't know that. I could have been saying anything. Maybe I said vague. You know how words sound a mite strange when you're sick. Wait, no. Oh, damn it. Okay, listen. Maybe I am feeling a little under the weather, but I swear I'm on the mend. Please, don't tell the constable. And become the town pariah?
Yeah.
I'm already the oldest worker in town. I don't need to give him another reason to avoid me. Hey, you're hale and healthy and possibly for hire, ain't you? Do a good turn for an expiring old man?
No. Not gonna help. Depends on what you need.
Couple hours out of your day and some light second-story work, that's all. There's a cache of anthracillin tucked away in the old community center. Powerful stuff. Stronger than what we got, anyway. I need you to break in, nab that medicine, and bring it back to me.
Yeah, I'll do it. Sure.
You oblige me with your haste. I think I feel the plague spreading. Oh, law, it's in my spleen now. I can feel it.
You're making a mistake working for Abernathy. Excuse me. I'm Esther Blaine, Spacer's Choice Actuary. I overheard your talk with Abernathy. I hope you're not thinking about getting him that medicine. Abernathy is a well-known hypochondriac. Anthracillin is wasted on him. You're better off selling it to me instead. All I'm saying is Abernathy's worked in this town longer than some of us been alive. How do I put this gently? He's got a lot of cobwebs up in his attic.
That's weird to say. Very much saying it's cobwebs to the pooper. That's weird to say.
I probably shouldn't tell you. Don't want you implicated for what I'm trying to do. Alright, here's a summary. A lot of sick people in this town, and we don't have the medicine to treat them all. Can't reach out to corporate without crossing a river of red tape, so I'm reaching out to you.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay.
Look, I'm not in the habit of law breaking, but sometimes you've got to do the wrong thing for the right reasons.
You are a lawbreaker.
That's all I can ask of you.
Alright. So... Give it to the old person been alive longer than Dirt has, or give it to that female there, and she'll save us. Do some in tech. Leadership. Shoot. I wanted to put some in. Yeah, that's good. What's all this? Is this a cemetery? Weird cemetery.
Here we go! Got him all!
Gross. Yeah, I'm not. 0, 5 out of 0. Ooh. What's that helmet all about? Little 6, little 4. Just handgun too. Pick up, pick up. Yeah, I don't have any of those. So that means I can't get hung on this porch. Isn't there some around here? Yeah, there they are. Pretty sure there's nothing on the porch, but I'm still going in. There's nothing in that for... Ooh, man. Energy cells. Oh, she jumped over here? Pretty impressive. And... and she jumped.
That's the last of them!
Stream, possible card. See what that arm's all about. 9 days. New gun. We'll just break that. 215. Okay. Break that down. Break this down.
Gonna find you!
Break that down.
Easy.
Sweet. 102, 110. Break this down. We're gonna actually keep that. Armor. Yeah, let's go in here. Do it.
Nicely done.
Give us more electronical hacking. More bypasses, more ammo. More assault rifle. Definitely worth that. That was definitely worth it. Actually, we're gonna take this stuff and break it down. More armor parts. 9, 6. Switch that up. Down, down, down. I'm gonna keep that. That's a cool helmet. That's our starting, so we're gonna keep that. It's an oh, cool. I'm not doing them anyway, just because it gives you. Wow! Shotgun. Pretty easy. Long time. Get some upgrades, weapons. Whatnot. And ammo. I'm good with all that.
That's the last of them.
Ammo. Helmet. Hate those creatures. Got pills. What's up here? Another not on. Not on. Body like pistol. Let's get out of here. Welcome to the stream. Where do we go now? That tells us to go back there. Let's go to journal. Okay. Going this way. Go to this one first. Yeah, right. We are not equipped to fight those things yet. Looks like there's a chest down there. But there's a big old monkey bot down there, and I'm not ready to fight those.
this for?
We did. Sound like a snake.
Whoa! Had to hurt. No encore?
Oh, they all dead. Oh, you're not dead. Who are you?
Wow, you crossed them all off, like some sort of heroic accountant running down a list. Teach me your ways.
No. Oh, Frank.
Oh, well that's a shame.
Yeah.
I mean, I could pay you in Adrena time, but I've already bartered most of my stash over to these poor saps. You, on the other hand, you were a sight to behold. If I had half your skills, I'd be the greatest outlaw the coast has ever seen.
I have my skills now.
I'm great at clarifying.
Are you a prisoner here?
No. I insinuated myself into their company, see? And they didn't seem to mind one whit.
Alright. Wait.
I got kicked out of Edgewater on account of falling sick with plague and stealing some medicine to treat myself. I'd heard some outlaws set up camp in the botanical labs. I decided to throw in with them, seeing as I always wanted to be an outlaw myself. Instead, what do I find? But a bunch of former workers camped out around a greenhouse. I couldn't just go back to the cannery, so I was stuck with them. I've got all the time in Halcyon.
Yeah, I don't know who you are. Peace. Yeah, come in here. What's in here? What's that dog running? You're gonna pick this thing off from the ear. Over there, down there. Bunch. Could be something in there that I want. There's too many. I'm already a low level. I can't get those. I'm only level 4. I couldn't take that one. We could definitely try. We definitely lose 6 out of 10, but no, I can't. Sweet, that's all I'm gonna do. It's a lot. And then... What's this? Your companions have a lot to teach you about killing. 50% XP from companion kills. You can barely kill anything. I'm just gonna get more health.
Ranger, we don't want any trouble. I don't know you. Whatever you're looking for, it ain't here. Move along.
Shut your mouth. What's your
Armed strangers wandering into my camp for one. Some of my camp wandering out for another. Got anything in you besides questions?
Nope.
No, I'm sorry. That was unworthy of me. Lady named Zoe went missing some nights ago. Just up and vanished without a trace. Now I'm pacing around wondering if marauders got to her. Thank the Eternal. Wait, Marauder Camp. Is she alright?
Yeah.
Zoe's family. Chiding her is our purview, not yours. If you could bring her home, I'd be obliged. And if you could cross off some marauders on the way, I'd be much obliged. I'll tell you what I can.
I don't need that.
What is it?
You hungry? We got canid ribs, canid flank, canid snout too. Something I can help you with? You mean Zoe? Yeah, we were pretty close. Not like her to go loping off. Can't say I recall Zoe ever acting strange. Well, except for her habit of writing things down on scraps of paper. She called it journaling, but I think it's just plain odd. You sound like some type of corporate fixer asking all these questions.
You're a dumb ginger. Shut your mouth.
Hey, I got time. Fresh off the limb, and that includes canid meat.
Z, self-junk. 3 grand for that thing? Yeah, right. Never gonna spend that money on that thing. It's a waste of time.
Something I can help you with?
Yeah, I need a little bit to know about
I'll help if I can.
this one?
Zoe and I were gonna watch the serials, as is our custom. She never turned up. I looked around, but she was nowhere to be found.
I'm a serial killer.
Zoe was always obsessed with this serial. Masked Marketeer. A scion of Byzantium turns to banditry and teaches his marauder companions the wisdom of free market economics. Shame she up and vanished when she did. I had a surprise lined up for her. The other day I got my hands on a genuine copy of the latest Masked Marketeer. I was gonna surprise Zoe with it, but she was gone the next day. Not much of a chance, no. Mind if I ask why you're interested? Zoe's living with marauders? Yeah, that sounds like the sort of sideways, sprat-brained plan Zoe'd come up with. Yeah, it could be you're telling the truth. Or maybe you're trying to wheedle me into relinquishing my only copy of the Masked Marketeer. It's a collector's edition after all.
Whatever.
Yeah, you're probably right. A true fan would have displayed a gleam in their eye upon hearing the words Collector's Edition. Here you go, latest copy of the Masked Marketeer. Tell Zoe we're all waiting on her.
I'm gonna go grab her now. We'll see.
If you're hungry, there's meat turning on the spit outside. If you're bearing illness, find a place to lay your head down and I'll fetch you a poultice. Whatever your troubles with Edgewater, leave them at the gates and be welcomed here. Any questions, dear?
You don't have gates.
I have been called that, among other things. Green Thumb, grandmother, the strange old lady who keeps flowers. But yes, Adelaide will do just fine.
Excuse me, Miss McDevitt? Sorry, it's just... You got such pretty trees in here.
Why, thank you. You're Robert's girl, aren't you? I remember when you were but a sprout. Thomas speaks of you often. Are you staying long? You should try some of my tobaccorn tea. I brew it in an old spittoon, but it's been cleaned.
Ew. Looks like you made a home for yourself out here.
A home for anyone who's ever turned their backs on Edgewater.
home for those of us with nowhere left to go and nothing to lose. So, like the spores of the puffball, cast on the wind and alighting on fresh soil, we put down new roots. It is an unpleasant story, dear. But the short of it is that sometimes one wakes up and realizes the place that was once her home for much of her life has changed. The home in which we spent our lives has left us behind, and so we must move on. And that is as much as I will say on the subject. Reed Thompson? You here on behalf of that cold-eyed reptile?
Yeah, I am.
Let's hear it. What's Reed's idea of peace, then?
The living off power that belongs to the town, come back to the county. That's about it. Read us. You to consider coming back to town, you will make amends.
Like everything else that comes out of Edgewater, that peace offering is canned. I and my own are living just fine out here by ourselves.
Reed asked me to divert your power over to him. He mentioned it here, though.
He would do such a thing. The question is, why would you agree to his plans?
Because money.
Cannery's got a regulator. You want ship parts, you ought to rip 'em out of the cannery's guts and leave us be.
Oh, yeah, why would
If you're going down to the plant, you should divert power away from Edgewater and toward our end of the grid. Think about it. You'd be liberating an entire town from a lifetime of service to that odious cannery. Seems the sort of thing a hero would do. Well, if it's all the same to you, then you ought to divert power over to us, shut down Reed's cannery, and scrap it for parts.
I'm leaving. Annoying. Still got missions to do. Places to be. Jump. Better mobility for jumping. It's a good dodge. I like that. Yeah. Back 2 power. It's a big town. I never checked all back with it. You could do that. Hopping. Let's go back to town. You outlaw.
What I wouldn't do for a Wentworth.
A Wentworth? Wasn't sent to find you.
Why? Adelaide wants me back on garden duty or something? Thanks, but I'm not going anywhere. This is where I belong.
Rebel. Look, a pink hair. Oh.
So, you tracked me down just to gab about the mass marketeer? I am impressed.
Got it here. Yours promise to go back.
I see what's going on here. I'm being bribed.
Yeah, you are.
Well, it's working. I can't say no to my favorite cereal. I'll take my stuff and head on back, I suppose. Grace is going to be glaring knives at me, so I've got that to look forward to.
Run. What's up over here? There's a mine there. There's another one. God damn. It's lava. What are we going to do here? What's over here? Hey, can my vehicle kill him? Where are you going? I'm just gonna die.
Get past that armor! That's the last of them.
Yeah, shit, kill them all. You did nothing. You might have killed that one. I don't even know. What's this? Collector's letter? Whoa, what was that? Repair item? Level 16. Stealth skill? Yeah, no. -5 stealth skill. Heavy weapons. Level 16, gotta go for it. What's this? A lens? Weird. Yeah, we're out of here. We'll go upstairs real quick. You can open that window. Yo. Barati. Whatever your name is, I don't give a shit. You want this thing? 133. And 121. Damn. You can take that. Back weapons. Yeah, we're gonna use that. We're gonna get rid of this. This. Got a lot of weapon parts now, and I'm happy about it. Gonna save that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Keep the shotgun. Huh.
Okay. I'm ready for this. Go! That's the last of them.
You did nothing again. You get to level up and stuff, so.
You're fast.
We're definitely putting that on. Putting that on. cash spent or fast travel, all encumbered. Wow, I already have too much junk. Now we're done. Lots and lots and lots of drugs.
Woo! Nice work!
Brain splatter. Got no skull, boy. That is gold. 53. Stendo. Better. It's a level 2. Level 2. Oh, they're both level 2s. Cell value is better. Because this one needs to be fixed. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're enjoying it. New game. I haven't played this one, so.
Oh, you can see the whole world from here.
No, you really can't. You don't. We're not give it a gear. 7 armor. We'll just give it a bit. Become whatever. It's all, I don't know. All 9s, level 16s. A little bit of that too. Good. Come on over here. Yeah, breaking ankles. This is the trio plant. Looks like. And then we pass it. Got a lot of ammo to throw out.
Here we go! Nice one! That's the last of them. I always wanted to poke around in here.
Well, not right now, it's not your day, but
Here we go!
you better stand back. Piss me off. Watch out. That's it. Give ourselves a little upgrade. Little upgrade. 180, 215. Yeah, we're good. Gotta go back there and play that guy back there. Oi! The fuck? We down here and fight me.
Oh!
Yo,
Don't mess with us.
alright, 150 extra for that. That's not bad. Fight, what else is over here? These guys over here? What is this? Cave?
Here they come!
Like a truck! She got a perk. Let's make it so she's not a threat. We'll work on those. Oh, they just eat each other back here? That's weird. That's really weird. Ooh, I got skill points? Nice. Why is my stuff down? Nope. Must be some sort of armor I'm wearing. What's going on? South -5. Why is my guy's characters like that? Oh, it must be because of drunk and it's annoying. Ah! How do I get rid of all that stuff? Let's just go through here, run this through. Right here.
The control room should be off to the right. I hope we're doing the right thing.
System alert.
That's the last of them!
Gonna need that fixed. Do I have a weapon kit? Hunter kit? Grease, armor, skills. Ah. Anything else? Fingers.
I'm beginning secure.
Incoming! Great work! Nice! Heads down.
Gonna be warned in the dark, huh? Not a ha-ha, but... Oh, whatever. It's a ha-ha. Alright, just itch on the side.
Oh.
Nice one!
Get up! What's up here? I'm not smart enough to do that.
No, 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 just leave me alone.
Who's down here?
No, 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 just leave me alone. No, 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 just leave me alone. You're not real. You're not real. Get away from me, Phantom. Shoot. Scram. Don't you talk down to me, Phantom. At least I know I'm real. See? See, Higgins? This is why you must always boil your sprats before ingesting.
Gross.
Of course. Do excuse me. I experience brief flashes of mania during which I am visited by the phantoms of my imagination. Chester D. Higgins. The D stands for definitely not insane.
Yeah.
I use it as a reminder. Oh, Higgins has been many things over the years. Sprat Wrangler, Saltuna Critic, Aetherwave Personality, Chairman of the Board, Galactic Defender, Sisty Pig Tycoon. I've come a long way for someone who started off as a simple engineer right here in this plant. I specialized in automechanicals, drones, sentries, repaired them, maintained, upgraded, did it all from my old workroom just over in the next section. Look, I don't want to fall into any trouble with the mechanicals. If they wise up to our plans, they will come for us. With prodding irons. Ironic deaths are the worst. You made your point. I'll help you.
Yeah.
I discovered a flaw. Their hostility levels were hardwired to maximum. There's no changing that, but you could rewrite their targeting protocol so they attack each other instead. Yes, that's exactly it. I see you're also versed in the noble art of mechanical engineering. There's a behavior control terminal in the other room. It should have options to change how the mechanicals act, including whom they shoot at. Oh, that reminds me. You'll need my passcode to access the behavior control terminal. Here, let me just write it down for you.
Going up on a Tuesday. Over here. What's in here?
I wish I could do that.
Oh my god, finally. So this mag, plasma damage, magazine size clip, and shot. So, and yes. Nothing for that. Back. And this pistol is gonna get plasma and a bigger clip. That's it. And repair. I'm gonna repair you, you. I'm gonna repair them all. Sure. I got enough. It's Tinker. Can I tinker with any of them? Put it down. Modify? No. We'll go.
Mind the scene. You're liable to get scalded.
Processing.
That's the last of them.
System required for adjacent contact. Security.
Once we do this, there's no going back.
Should have fixed my armor.
Where are we headed? That's on account of how I never met her. She was in another division of the Spacer's Choice family. She worked in the Vale a few months, sorting the cannery computers. Her contract said any kids she had, expected or not, belonged to her office from the time of conception. So when I was born, I got sent here. It's sensible. Dad just fixed machines. She did some kind of crazy math, high-level stuff. Better to raise me on his time than hers. You mean about the mission being too clean? I know, but Vickers says the universe is a machine, that it runs by law. Real machines have gunked up oil, scratches, and worn bits. You can tell they've seen handling, been used by folk. The machine Vickers sees is one ain't never been run. It's not for people to live in. It's something on a museum shelf, under glass. Fixing the universe is a job for somebody way better than the likes of me. Hey, mister? Look, I know you want your power regulator and all, but I just gotta ask you. Do you understand what you're about to do? I don't think you should cut off Edgewater's power. I think it would be cruel. I'm sorry. That just sort of came out all at once. Edgewater's hurting. We've been losing workers year after year, and corporate hardly ever sends replacements. There's barely enough Saltuna to fill our bellies anymore. But the town's got some good people in it. Decent, hard-working folk just living their lives the only way they know how. They don't deserve to be punished. Sorry, I didn't mean to babble on like that. I felt like I had to say something.
Oh, you're right. I'm glad you did.
Really? I mean, wow. Thanks. No one's ever told me those words in that order.
Redirect power. Continue. Redirect power to Okay. Let's go back to her and see what happens. We good? We got it. Intelligence is only good. Well, we want that great. We want to be, yeah, we want to be very smart. We gotta be big brain. Yeah, no problems. We want big brain, no problems. Let's check this out. Should be able to get in here. we did what we had to do for Edgewater. This whole town, that town was established before this little area. It's in a town. We can't just take away from an establishment that was already pre-established before this place was.
Home is where the heart is. Marauders took that saying a little too literally.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Thomas. He used to follow me around before he left the cannery.
Into a transformer?
Everybody keeps staring at me. It's not my fault the power's dead. Whoa, Miss Parvati. Hey, you're, what, how are you? Hi, hello.
Are you, are things safe out here? How are you keeping?
Great, just great. I've been trying to keep stuff running, just like you. Only I'm not so... Wait, they didn't kick you out, did they?
Oh gosh, no, I'm just along with this fella here.
I seen you wandering around here. You don't look like you're coming from town. Never heard it phrased in such a way before. I guess we're all trying to get our ships off the ground, ain't we? Sorry, I just wasn't sure if you were from town or if you were one of us. Something's been chewing at me, you see. Fact is, I've been, well, lying. To everybody here. Camp thinks I'm a mechanical genius, but I couldn't fix a busted chair. I'll take all the help I can get. I set my mind to learning the craft of the engineer, you see. I want to make something of myself. You ever heard of the Young Spacer's Guide to Mechanical Engineering? Comes in a set of 3. If I had my hands on one of those data pads, I could teach myself the ins and outs.
Those are good. My dad kept a copy with him when he was working in the cannery.
I know the old community center kept a copy. Should find another one back in town. If you could find me even one of those pads, I'd be greatly obliged. No kidding! Yeah. Really? Well, which one?
All 3.
Look at that! Building a computing machine out of Spectrum potatoes, a primer. I'm just glad it survived all these years. I appreciate you going through all that trouble. In fact, I put aside something special, on the off chance that somebody'd search out those data pads for me.
Hold on,
well, don't keep me in suspense. Ain't that just ironical? If I'd worked a little longer back at the cannery, I might have found this myself. 2 whole data pads? Be still my beating heart. Oh, almost forgot your payment. Well, don't keep me in suspense. The geothermal plant? Now that is just incredible. You really went exploring down there? Adelaide always told us it was swarming with hostile mechanicals. That's a complete set. All 3 parts. I'm gonna be the greatest engineer Halcyon's ever seen. Aside from you, Ms. Parvati, I swear, I'll do you proud.
I'm glad we could help, Thomas.
I've been saving something for you. Just a little contraption I found. Should fit right into your outfit.
Marauders can't see us in the dark. Wild canids, on the other hand.
You owe me something.
We didn't always get along, but I'm glad to know she's safe.
You owe me something.
What happened, anyway? Zoe joined up with a band of marauders. Zoe. The same Zoe who doesn't know a barrel from a trigger. Well, I've heard stranger things. You pretty much did my job for me. Least I could do is pay you for your trouble.
Yeah.
Let me know if I can do something for you.
There you go. Barracks too. Boy. Is the snake.
That's the thing about growing old. Your eyes start to fail. Elsewise, I would have seen you for the snake that you are, chopped you into pieces and roasted you on a spit. This is all you're doing. Cutting off my power, killing off my garden. Without refrigeration, my food will spoil, and my flock will starve. I want to ask you this in private, away from the eyes of my flock, so they do not see me lose my temper. Tell me, why did you do it? You want my flock wasting their lives in that cannery? Fine. Go and talk to them. Go talk to Grace and Thomas. Look them in the eye and tell them their life here is over, and the only thing left to do is go back to Edgewater. This is now your responsibility. And you tell Reed Thompson that I will never return to Edgewater. I would rather die among my flowers than live under his management. You offering to cross Reed off, huh? This some sort of twisted reparation for what you've done? Or you just looking for a chance to sow some chaos? Kill Reed if you must, or talk him into leaving if you can. He and I are not sharing the same four walls together. Tell Reed that I can make his people healthy again. I can end their plague. Start a new garden right in the cannery. 3 square meals for every man and woman in Edgewater. Tell him how I've made the Vale bloom again. The soil has whispered its secrets to me, and I alone know how to breathe life back into the earth. The secret is human corpses. I've been grinding them up in my fertilizer for years. Marauder, worker, don't matter much to me. The human body is rich with nutrients.
Fucked up.
I have got a means to cure the plague, and I will not share that cure until Reed leaves town. Those are my terms. My son worked in that cannery.
Oh, God.
When the plague started coming, he was one of the first to fall sick. We had a store of medicine locked away, but Reed refused to treat him. Said my boy didn't deserve treatment in that cannery. Said the medicine would have been wasted when the plague started. So I buried my boy in the cemetery, gathered my belongings, and left. That's as much of the story as you need to hear.
First off, take this.
Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out what to do is all. I've been thinking about going back. I'm not much use to anybody here. I get sick thinking about working at the cannery. I can't do that again. You know something? I think you're right. The town could use another engineer, and I'm on my way to becoming one. I could do a lot of good in Edgewater. Maybe even keep a garage of my own with a little workbench and my very own toolbox. It's just... Adelaide's never gonna forgive me. Not in 100 years. I go crawling back to my old life in Edgewater and I'm as good as dead to her.
Who cares?
You know where to find me.
I don't know what you did to talk some sense into Zoe, but I appreciate it. The matter's been weighing on me. Zoe came back, but I couldn't keep her from slipping out in the first place. Who's to say I could keep marauders from slipping in? I don't see us lasting more than a couple of weeks out here. I'm loath to admit it. We're gonna have to make our peace with Thompson and hope he takes us back. Listen, we go back to Reed, hat in hand, begging for our old jobs back. Well, Adelaide's not gonna forgive us. She never talked to us again.
Who cares?
Sure, suit yourself. I'll be here.
No, we run all the way back to me. At least I got that perk where I can run faster. It's pretty good one. Down fast. What? Boy? Looks like I'm missing something. Before I do that, I'm gonna finish out some of these other missions.
That was quick. Actually not gonna get to the old man.
Sometimes I wonder what I'm doing.
I've got some time.
I've got medicine for you.
Thanks. I'll see to it that this medicine gets to the people who need it. Here, something for your trouble. Nothing personal, but I hope we never do business together again. Don't want to make a habit of consorting with smuggler types.
I'm not a smuggler, you asshole, you douche. It's not that simple. You want my silence, you're going to have to buy it. Okay, flat. Charm. Never? That's harsh. At least leave me something to remember you by. I'm curious, who are you gonna steal the charm?
You do have some cheek on you. Lucky for you, I kept a little contingency fee in case you tried to negotiate with me.
Yeah, curious.
Somebody deserving. Silas on account of him being out in the cold. Amelia seeing how she's around people all the time. Anybody in the sick room?
What do you do here?
Oh, I'm an actuary. That means I keep tabs on a worker's living expenses. How much it costs to feed, clothe, shelter, bury, and replace your average human worker. Technically, I'm employed by the Spacer's Choice Department of Human Resources. I appreciate what you've done, but we shouldn't be seen together.
Okay, now I need journal. Do the next one.
Been eating nothing but salt.
Something to report?
Yeah.
We pay by the finger. What do you have for me?
All three.
Gil Antrim. Real name, Guillaume. Duly processed by a freelancer on behalf of Spacer's Choice. I remember him. Was just a kid last I saw him. Shame. I'll just need your signature here, 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 and here. Got any more fingers for me? Mabel Burgess. Age 37. Right or left-handed? Let's just say no longer applicable. I remember Doc Burgess. Conducted my physical every fiscal quarter. Guess she couldn't keep her hands off her patient's medicine. Still one outstanding bounty. If you've got a finger, I've got the paperwork. Here we are. Bertie Cotton. Cause of death. Let's just say overwhelming physical trauma.
Yeah.
Bert was the local preacher before Max took over. Always was quick to remind us that we all get what we deserve in the end. Well, that's all 3. I must remember to requisition some more fingerprint ink. Here's all the compensation you've earned, plus a bonus. You've done such a bang-up job hunting down our former workers that I thought it only proper to deputize you. Congratulations.
Sweet.
Wish we had some better rations.
Nothing I can do about that.
Yeah.
Another day at the cannery.
I'm not allowed.
Miss Holcomb ain't allowed in this establishment. Not since that little incident. Ask her if you care. I'm running a business here.
I won't touch anything while we're in here, Mr. Moreau. I promise.
Music to my ears.
Not good. That one machine gun. Oh, I can sell. Sweet. With $19. We're gonna really have to do something about. Yeah, I'm really gonna have to do something about negotiating prices and stuff.
It's a fine new day in Edgewater. The cannery hums, streetlights and faces glow. I suppose this means the 2 of you were able to sort out the matter?
Yeah.
The greater good can be difficult to determine. None of us can know the effects of our decision in a year, or 10, or 100. Take comfort in the fact that your choices are always, ultimately, in line with the grand plan. Wonderful. This is fantastic. Well worth all the sacrifices Wait. What the fuck is this? Is this French? I can't fucking read French. It's a law-forsaken joke is what it is. French. Ha! I was so high and mighty, preaching to the yokels about following the plan, while fighting it at every turn.
That's funny.
Overreacting? Do you have any idea how many years I spent in... No. You couldn't possibly know, could you? I've spent my life searching for the keys to unlocking the secrets of the universal equation that underlies the plan. I had hoped this book held some of those answers. I became so desperate, I even got myself assigned to this plague-ridden backwater to find the damn thing. All the time and suffering I've spent. Wasted. Please, those dolts? Nothing could be more excruciating than discussing the true nature of reality with people who have no interest beyond their next Aetherwave program. But that's neither here nor there. What I need to do now is to find a translator, obviously. But to do that, I'll first need to secure transport. You have a ship. Perhaps I could make myself of use to your crew.
Yep. Could be beneficial agreement you right out of. I wouldn't mind a ship.
Certainly. I already gave you most of my money, but I can offer you free spiritual counseling, and I'd be happy to watch your back. I'm pretty handy with a tossball stick, or any blunt instrument, really. I'm also a passable gun hand, if it comes to that. I can usually talk my way out of conflict, though. Oh, I'm fairly competent at hacking computers as well. Fantastic. I promise you won't regret this.
Edgewater's gonna miss you. Folk here always had good things to say about their vicar.
Thank you, Miss Holcomb. I'll be glad for the change of scenery, and to leave this place behind. It is my esteemed pleasure to serve as your crew vicar, Captain.
Cool. Join the party. Let's go here. Boy, he follows me around. I'll just go to my ship. I don't want you with me.
Wonder if the plague's ever gonna pop.
I think you did the rightest thing you could, sending the power back to Edgewater. A lot of people would have suffered otherwise. People I care for. Even if they ain't care much for me. He's just interested in fixing stuff. He always used to follow me around, asking me to explain what I was doing. Like a puppy, kinda.
The bigger or more obvious crush. Are you sure? Nearly fell over inside you. The tool he was thinking with was definitely not Edge.
Thomas always listened to me. Never said I was odd, never tried to... I just want to think of him like that. You mean why I'm not allowed in the store anymore?
Yeah.
There was a kind of a thing with a vending machine when I was 12. Sure, but folks got long memories around here. I've always been good with my hands, right? So I saw a lock on the machine and thought, oh, this must be how they refill it. But I had to know. So I did my thing, and next thing I know, there's a couple hundred bottles of 0G rolling out the front door and into the road. Well, sure. They're not tough. Even back then, before I got real good at that sort of thing. Right about then, a bunch of loaders came rolling in the gate, fresh off the Saltuna ships. And Mr. Thompson was up on the porch making a speech about how everyone would have to volunteer a third shift to get it all canned. Anyhow, you ever seen an auto loader run over a bottle of 0G? Exploded all over Mr. Thompson. One bottle after another as the loaders went by. I was just shy of working age, so Dad had to pay all the damages. Moreau's still angry at me. I can laugh about it now, but I just about puked up my guts in terror in the moment. That's the one time I ever made Mr. Thompson look a fool.
One. I did go back to the ship. Sweet. I don't want to hear Should almost be bigger. Hold up. More on the hacking for him. Character, high, good. Still not.
As always, I am at your disposal. Anything you'd like to discuss?
Go to the ship.
I've been thinking on that. There's a former infamous philosopher scholar who fled Terra 2 some years ago. He's an expert on Bakonu. He's also who told me of the journal's presence in Emerald Vale. If anyone in this colony could translate that book, it would be him.
Yeah, good.
That's a good question. We should start on the Groundbreaker. It's where I'd go if I wanted to get off Terra 2. Great place to pick up a ride to Hephaestus, Scylla, even Monarch. All I need is access to a data cartridge from the security terminal. Their easily hackable system keeps a registry of all crew manifests for both arrivals and departures.
How will the crew manifest help us track down your scholar friend? How is it that a simple...
I'll comb the last 6 months of departure manifest to track the Philosophist's off-world destination.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Captain.
It's not even gonna deal with it. Just move on.
This is a fine day, friend. Power flows through our town like a cool stream of water. I trust Adelaide's people have seen their way to reason. So, when can I expect them back at their posts?
You won't.
Then we are at an impasse. Stewardship over this town has been entrusted to me by Spacer's Choice. I am not perfect. I have made my share of mistakes. But I have done my best for this town.
Force them to work a job then. No one wants to work. A change of leadership might be what this town needs. Your town's a mess, Reed. The town's terrified of the plague. Burn asked me to steal medicine for him. You let Alan's son die.
I am a Spacer's Choice man. My father was a Spacer's Choice man. Edgewater may not look like much to some buttoned-up freelancer, but it is my home.
I only made it clear she won't return unless you leave.
I don't believe you. Plague's a reality of life. Best treatment is a good work ethic.
This town doesn't eat anything but saltina. Of course you're gonna get sick. Have you people ever eaten an actual vegetable?
You are disparaging our parent company, and it is not appreciated. We are a Spacer's Choice Saltuna cannery. We eat saltuna here, and only saltuna.
That's messed up. I'm pretty sure it's your food that's making people sick. You need Adeline's garden.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
You say Adelaide's growing her own food.
Yeah.
But that should not be possible. The soil's gone sour. Company said as much. Our own botanists couldn't grow decent crops for us, so the company got rid of them and shut down the greenhouse. You'll excuse me for being skeptical. How exactly is Adelaide growing crops in barren soil?
Why?
If Adelaide's found a way to feed her people and cure the plague, then she deserves this office more than I do. I won't stand in her way.
Good.
My life here is ended.
It has. Read it.
Give me a little time to settle my affairs.
Nope. Leave it.
I'm sure Adelaide will be glad to see the back of me.
Peace. Get out. Give me your stuff too. What do you have in here? Open it. Go to the ship. We don't want you here.
Yes, you caught me ruminating again. Guilty as charged. What's occupying your thoughts?
Personal quest. Think it over, get back to you. Lakeside, forget. I want to go back to the ship. I don't want to walk with me. I'm gonna have to give you the gun stuff now. I don't want to do that. Now do we take on that big gorilla and all of them? We got better gear. Oh, that much ammo. No, I got it. Shot with a sniper from distance.
Who would like to die first? Nice hit!
Everyone all right?
plasma gun. And that. Even not change that. Nope, 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 nope. We're gonna keep this. Oh, we're gonna put that one up there. That one there. That takes heavy. That's 6 heavy. That's back up there. So that takes light. That takes light. I just can't get rid of that. I'm just gonna use those guns. All reliable, that's what my ship's called unreliable, and I just picked up all reliable. Definitely gonna have to use that one instead of the other one. There's a chest or something around here, isn't there? What's that mark? I don't know. Found the nest. Oh. Waste of time. Except for that gun. That gun's pretty sweet. He's gonna call me a snake again.
Look at that. The snake's come back.
Yeah?
I never thought I'd see the day that Reed Thompson abandoned his post. Suppose we all have a breaking point. Suppose it's time our flock made our way back to Edgewater. We must tend to what remains of the town and carry on with our lives as best we may. You're vexing to me, you know? Injuring us with one hand, helping us with the other. Here, I'm giving you something to leave us be. It's a ransom, you understand, not a reward. You telling me you did all this just to put me in charge of Edgewater? Stranger, you are some kind of twisted. I might turn that old cannery into a garden. Got ourselves a whole cemetery bursting with bodies. I need some time to gather my personals. Long walk back to Edgewater. Got a considerable burden to carry.
Leave me alone. I'm leaving. Get off this planet. That's all I'm done. Now, peace. Get up on out of here. What needs who? Some of those trees remind me of. Still no upgrades? Colonel? Oh, companion quest. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. On the road again. I'm out of here. Let's go. Ooh. the old reliable piece of shit.
Ah!
Ow. Giant piece of shit out of that.
Is this your ship? Oh my stars, she is just so handsome. Does she have a name yet? What's her drive model? Oh, gosh. Listen to me babbling. When I was in Edgewater, I dreamed of flying on a real ship, working on a real engine, belonging to a proper crew. I'm the only decent mechanic Edgewater's got, but every time I think of going back, I get this sinking feeling.
I can understand not wanting to go back. You didn't seem happy there.
Well, it's kind of you to say that. And you're right. I wasn't happy. I want to ask you something, and you can say no. But can I come with you? I could tend to your engine. I know my G-valves from my catalyzers, and I can keep your ship singing. And if you ever need a pair of eyes watching your back, I can do that too. What do you think?
Glad to have you along. Pick a cabin, it's yours. You just met me. Pick a cabin,
Yes!
it's yours.
I mean, thanks. You won't regret this, mister. Captain. I can call you Captain now. I got a captain.
I had it up and it was really echoey, so.
Captain, I have detected that Edgewater's power supply is now optimal. I applaud your willingness to invest your time in the local community. What can I do for you, Captain?
Can you hear me a little bit better?
All systems are operating within acceptable parameters. I am prepared to bring the unreliable into low-altitude orbit. This should prove an adequate test of our flight capabilities.
Sure about that? Yeah, I noticed it came like a couple days Sweet.
We have received a communication request from Dr. Phineas Wells.
Aha, there you are, hale and hearty, and captain of your own ship. I see you're putting the unreliable to good use. Shame about her former captain, horrible way to die. How are you feeling, by the way? I lost track of you in that cave back there. Experiencing any, unnatural drippage? Perfectly normal side effect of thawing, I assure you. What you saw in Emerald Vale is happening all across the colony. Food shortages, lack of supplies, and basic necessities. We're dying. The chairman, the minister, and all their lackeys on the board are to blame. The Hope has some of the brightest minds Earth ever sent us. If we can revive the Hope's colonists, they can help us undo the board's mistakes. They can help us set things right. You need to get to Stellar Bay on Monarch. I have contacts there. They'll help me, help us, find the chemicals to revive your fellow colonists. Gladys Kelly, lovely woman, runs a cozy little black marketing outfit on the Groundbreaker. She can get you a nav key to land on Stellar Bay.
Say hello, and it's I'll soon longer.
Excellent. I'll send her a wireless. Let her know you're coming. By the way, I gave Captain Hawthorne a disguise apparatus of my own design, cutting-edge technology, years ahead of its time. I call it the Holographic Shroud. I'm sure it will prove remarkably useful to you. You'll find it in the captain's quarters.
Okay, I'll put it to good use.
Excellent. I'll contact you once you've found a way to get to Stellar Bay. If you have any questions, come see me in my lab. And remember, don't trust the board. They'll try to win you over with promises of wealth and power, but it's a lie. The board's only interested in filling their own pockets. If we don't put a stop to them, they're going to run this colony to the ground.
Transmission ended. If you are ready to depart, please select a destination on your navigation terminal. Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance?
That's not what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I want. One of the Groundbreaker. Is it a bit better? Well, I'm probably a little bit away from the mic. And probably the mic right there. I'll probably be better.
Arrived at the Groundbreaker.
Let's talk in retreat.
What's that? The shot. I already have one of those. Don't know where I got that. Is there? I need ammo really badly. Yeah. Can't tinker with any guns. Modify. Pull modify. Pull it. Dude. Yeah, she can stay in here. She's fine. Pipey's fine down here. Jane is pointing at the screen laughing. He's a man of culture, that's what it is. Got some food. Starving, haven't eaten all day today. Wow. He's a man of culture. Range weapon magazine charges and weapon sandwich type to shock. Plasma. We'll do plasma. I like this pistol. Sock.
Hey, Captain. I heard that Groundbreaker's got a real good engineer.
Exactly.
A lady named Junlei Tennyson?
Yeah, what about her?
I was thinking that maybe I ought to meet her. If you got time to swing us by, I mean. I don't got much experience fixing actual spaceships. I bet you a can of Borston beans she could teach me all manner of stuff.
Really? Smart baby right there. sure we can head over there now. I thought you. Yeah, we'll just do it.
Thanks, Captain. I'll be sure to make it worth your time. Did you want to talk about something else?
He's gonna be a daddy's boy. Definitely gonna be a dad's boy.
Smells like grease and unwashed body.
That's not the point. This halfwit just knocked out one of my workers.
Yeah, with a tossball stick. I heard you the first time. There weren't any witnesses.
No witnesses? He's not even denying it.
Jackass had it coming.
Shut it, Felix. You're not making this any better.
You get cute with me again, you little back bay brat, I will toss you out an airlock.
This is the Groundbreaker, not Byzantium. You ain't the law here. I am. Now move along.
I don't have time for this. I need a drink.
You did puke. You're not CPIB when he pukes, man. You are all set.
Going for a stroll around the docking base?
Notice you were in the middle of an argument.
Sure was. Got a knack for upsetting the board and the Mardettes all at once. Between you and me, I was hoping they'd come to fisticuffs.
Fighter. I want you on my team. Yeah, what happened? I heard you knock someone with a tossball stick.
The guy insulted my Rizzo's Rangers, alright? You can't just insult my Rangers and expect to get away with it. So, of course, I decked him with a tossball stick. I mean, what am I? Some kind of fair-weather fan?
Nope.
Guy never liked me, always trying to get a rise out of me. But I keep my chin up, right? Be the bigger man, I tell myself. He's a Spacer's chosen man, though. So when the Chosen beat my Rangers the other night, my foreman comes swaggering up with his head full of boasting. Exactly. I was only doing what any self-respecting Rangers fan would have done. Look, this was a long time coming. Guy thinks he can push me around because he's some sky-high foreman, and I'm just a back bay's dock worker. Well, former dock worker. Guess I just tendered my resignation.
Yeah, you did.
Enjoy my freedom. Scrounged together enough bits for a 0G. Other than that, can't say as I do. Hey, not for nothing, but I saw you wander out of that ship over there by the dock. Wouldn't happen to be yours, would it?
Uh-huh.
Captain of the Unreliable. You're like something out of a serial drama. Hey, I don't want to talk your ears off, guessing you got places to be. I appreciate your time. Felix Millstone. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
What was his name? Millstone? Kind of an oddball name.
See you around, boss.
That's awesome, man. That's really good. Good for you. Oh, that's some skills. There we go.
Customs and inspection, right this way. Identification, please.
I don't have one.
Captain Hawthorne, you said. Let me apologize in advance. I'm about to ruin your day. According to your ship's record, you've been flagged by the board. Your ship will be impounded until such a time as they see fit to lift it.
Well, isn't this wonderful? The captain's done something to get on the board's bad side.
Now, hold on. This isn't the end of the world. Probably.
Well, things are moving quickly for you guys.
Oh, thank the law. I could use a diversion. Tell me more then. Really sell it to me. Not fond of that story. It lacks dazzle. What else have you got? I like where this is headed. What happened to this, vile kidnapper? You must feel terrific. Good for you.
Hey, gotta go for the closure and...
Not in the least. Good story, though. You'll want to take it up with Udom Bedford, our board representative here on Groundbreaker. His office is located along the starboard wall of the promenade. Shines like a Byzantine commode. You can't miss it. Access to that information is above my pay grade, and I've turned down 3 promotions, so it stays that way. I shouldn't be mentioning it, but what the hell? This here, impounding your ship, it doesn't happen much. The board knows we don't take kindly to their interfering in our operations. If I have to take a guess as to why, you must have riled up someone important.
Alright. Good job, man.
You take the starch out of him, well, you won't hear any complaints from me. Oh, and if you're headed that way, would you mind doing me a favor?
But start them out back to normal time for you guys, like from Friday, Thursday, and Wednesday. We're gonna start streaming, so tomorrow we'll be back to normal.
Wanda Dorset over in sickbay. Tell her the shipment's not in yet. It's not coming in anytime soon, and if she'd be so obliged to get off my ass about it. Much appreciated. Is there anything else I can help you with? Maybe. Most of the shipping traffic in the system passes through Groundbreaker. Every couple of months, we even get a big interstellar freighter. 2 biggest operations are the board. That is, Halcyon Holdings and Sublight Salvage. But there are independent operators around the promenade deck. Most of those jobs are going to take you off station, though. All right. Be seeing you.
Huh?
This is it. Security. I can check the departures registry to find out which crew the Scholar shipped in and out with.
I picked up this weird signal the other day. It was coming from Monarch.
Here we go again.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following
and half of us still can't afford a bed.
The board would like to remind Space...
Try not to be distracted by the glare of the adverts. Lots of unsavory types about.
Now with 12% more crunch.
Didn't the board rep's office used to be in the...
You know that sound when you've snapped on an injector clip? Ah, that's how you know your weapon loves you back. I got a full line of weapon modifications I'd be happy to show you.
Sweet. How's that restricted? This place is destroyed.
Go back to Byzantium, you gold-plated bastards.
Yeah, no one wants you on Groundbreaker. Ah, the board. Organized if...
Ah, yes. Wheeler messaged me you were coming. You must be the captain of the Unreliable, a vessel that used to be helmed by one Alex Hawthorne. And you are not he. Has something happened to my favorite scruffy freelancer?
Hmm?
I impounded Alex's ship, not yours. Well, I guess it's yours now if you're captaining it. It's a game we play, he and I. I ask him to turn in Phineas Wells, he tells me he will soon. I impound his ship, he explains why he can't give me the info right now. I ask him to turn in Wells. Around and around we go. Right. You're going important places, I'm sure. Big, exciting, important places. There, I've removed the flag from your ship. I'm terribly sorry for the inconvenience. However, before you go, Alex promised to tell me the location of Phineas Wells. I'm sure you've seen his wanted posters all over the colony. Did Alex tell you where Wells might be?
No.
Anything at all? You haven't read the posters?
Nope.
He's a terrorist, a thief, a madman. It's really in the colony's best interest that we stop him before he does further harm. Well, Alex knew, or he said he did. And you have his ship. Maybe he kept some records around, or a conveniently placed note on his bedside table. That's... well, that's just terrible news. Law, what am I going to do now? The board will have my head. Oh, I'm sorry. This is terribly unprofessional of me. Is there anything else I might help you with?
Cool. I'll ship back. Happy about that.
Are you listening to me, Emfuru?
Where's my girl? Oh.
Sorry about the heat. Chief Tennyson will get the radiators fixed soon. Of course, this heat sure makes a zero-G brew extra refreshing. It's an ale that's good for what ails you. Oh, and it's not the best choice, it's Spacer's choice. Taste the freedom.
Taste the
A lot of
freedom.
slogans to keep track of. Sometimes I forget.
I'm not that smart.
Heard of it? My orientation aetherwave showed that famous Saltuna cannery, which I'm sure smells as good as it looks.
Like shit.
Not the word I'd use. I think of it more like a... No, I take it back. Dump sums it up nicely.
I'm sure they're doing their best. That's the Spacer's Choice spirit. So, what can I get you? Soap. Everyone loves soap. Everyone will love you for using it, too.
You're always a nice
Bless my heart. A stranger come knocking on a poor old woman's door. You here for a particular reason?
I didn't knock.
Or did the neighbors tell you how good my sugar cookies are? Made without a single natural ingredient, or an oven. Just like store-bought.
Like store-bought. Phineas sent me. He said you'd sell me.
Those have been the height of illegality since Stellar Bay turned their noses up at the board. You and I could be thrown to the void just for discussing such a transaction. Lucky for us, Groundbreaker's a free port. We're outside of the board's control. For the time being, at least. Now, I only have the one nav key. And they're hard to come by these days. It won't be cheap. If you find yourself lacking in the bits, I might have an opportunity you'd be interested in.
Yeah, I don't... 10 G's, yeah, I don't have that.
Well, I find I'm in need of a ship captain with a little moral flexibility. Might be this could help out the Groundbreaker, as well as earn some bits. But if you've got qualms... Do you know Edna, over in engineering? Sweet as a pea, that one. On occasion, she'll pass along transmissions I might find interesting. She sent me a recording of a distress signal she'd scraped from the Groundbreaker's comm array. Curious thing is, it came from an outpost called Roseway. And Auntie Cleo abandoned that place years ago. You've got an ear for intrigue and a nose for bits. I like that. Here's a copy of the SOS recording, complete with the coordinates. If you should find a secret worth selling, might be I could find a buyer. Corporate bigwigs will pay top bit for inside information on their competitors. The more we got the corps fighting each other, the less time they got to meddle in our affairs.
True.
Don't forget to come find old Gladys when you're done. Anytime, sweetheart. You know where to find me. Here, take a candy with you.
Yeah, candy. Ooh, big chest.
Destined to die.
Guess I wasn't allowed to shoot in here. I really don't care.
This is House.
If you're here for this week's magazine club meeting, you're a touch late. What do you want, then? My hard-earned wisdom?
Metro Cowboy is outside the board's control. What do you do here? Why is the coast still that big? Oh, what? I don't know.
Anytime, sweetheart. You know where
I
to
also
find
have
me.
to talk to her. Journal.
Rizzo's Purple Berry Punch. You want a punch? We've got your punch right here.
Oh. I didn't mean to shoot. How do I get in there?
What's that noise?
What was
This might
that?
be tough.
I can deal with this one! Protect the groundbreaker!
Alright, that's what I'm gonna do it here. It's 4:20, surprisingly. But that's where I'm gonna end it. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it if you stuck around this long. End my stream here. Thank you. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. Don't forget to show me some love by hitting that thumbs up. And to get notifications every time I come on stream or post a video, please hit that little bell after you subscribe. Thank you for joining me. Bye.